7 November, go.
Imagine the tension on a U.S. Navy destroyer as it glides across the Pacific Ocean, scanning the horizon with its radar for any signs of danger. The crew knows that these waters are a battleground of global power, but nothing could prepare them for what happens next. Suddenly, a foreign spy ship appears through the morning fog, its stealthy movements and advanced technology revealing its purpose. As the crew reacts, tension rises and a dramatic series of maneuvers unfolds. How did the U.S. Navy respond to this invasion? And what were the dramatic consequences that followed? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the U.S. Navy's interception of a foreign spy ship and the incredible events that followed. In the spring of 2023, a striking event unfolded that shed light on the shadowy realm of international naval intelligence. Between March and April, the Russian Navy ship Corelia embarked on a bold and calculated 10-day journey along Japan's coastline. This wasn't just a routine patrol, but a deliberate show of Russia's growing maritime confidence and strategic intent. The Corelia, a Vishnya-class signals intelligence vessel, is a cutting-edge spy ship operated by Russia's Pacific Fleet. Based in the Sea of Japan, this ship is no ordinary vessel. It's equipped with advanced electronic surveillance tools capable of intercepting and decoding radio communications, radar signals, and other electronic emissions from nearby ships and coastal installations. This makes it a critical asset for gathering intelligence on the activities and capabilities of foreign forces. The ship's route was anything but random. Starting in the Sea of Japan, the Corelia sailed through the Tsushima Strait into the East China Sea, eventually making its way into the Western Pacific via the strategically vital Miyako Strait. Each segment of this journey was meticulously planned to maximize intelligence collection, allowing the vessel to eavesdrop on signals across a wide swath of Japanese territory, from the densely populated main island of Honshu to the more remote southwestern islands. The Miyako Strait, a narrow but essential passage between the East China Sea and the Pacific Ocean, holds immense strategic value. It's a choke point heavily monitored by Japanese and U.S. forces, as it serves as a critical artery for maritime traffic. This high-stakes environment meant that Corelia was under constant surveillance by Japan's self-defense forces. Throughout its voyage, Japan's Joint Staff released multiple reports tracking the vessel's every move. On March 24th, the Corelia was spotted near Sato Island, north of Honshu. Sato Island, known for its historic gold and silver mines that have been active for centuries, lent a unique backdrop to the vessel's activities. By March 30th, the ship had reached the East China Sea, passing through the Miyako Strait. This passage lies between Okinawa and Miyako, two Japanese islands renowned for their breathtaking coral reefs and strategic importance. Okinawa, in particular, plays host to a significant U.S. military presence, making it a focal point of international attention. On April 4th, the last known location of the Russian ship was reported to be south of Hatara Island, nestled in Japan's southwestern islands. This area isn't just another cluster of islands. It's a hotspot of strategic importance. These islands are vital to Japan's defense and regional security, forming a critical link in the Pacific's major maritime routes. Any unusual activity here is bound to raise alarm bells. Japan wasted no time reacting to the situation. The government quickly deployed the JS Omi, a Mashu-class replenishment ship, and a P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft to investigate and secure the area. The JS Omi is a powerhouse of logistical support designed to refuel and resupply naval ships while they're out at sea, ensuring Japan's Navy can operate at full capacity. On the other hand, the P-3C Orion is a standout in anti-submarine warfare, famed for its ability to hunt and monitor underwater threats. Together, these assets showcase Japan's readiness and determination to protect its waters. Japan's swift response made one thing clear: they were taking this incident very seriously. And the concerns didn't stop at Japan's borders. The United States, a key ally, also took notice. The situation hit particularly close to home for the U.S. military, as approximately 60% of the 50,000 U.S. troops stationed in Okinawa, a critical base for American operations in the Pacific, could be impacted. The Russian ship, known as the Corelia, was seen as more than just a foreign vessel. It was a potential threat, sparking fears over regional stability and military security. Every intercepted signal or overheard communication from the ship could provide invaluable insights into the strategies and technologies of both Japanese and American forces. As if this weren't enough to stir tensions, Russia escalated the stakes later that same week. In a bold display of military might, they sent two Tu-95 MS bombers capable of carrying nuclear weapons, along with two Su-30 SM fighter jets on a dramatic 10-hour patrol over the Sea of Japan. This show of force sent a clear message, amplifying regional unease and leaving both Japan and its allies on high alert. In response to escalating tensions, Japan swiftly scrambled its air defense forces, deploying advanced F-15J and F-2 fighter jets to safeguard its skies. These high-tech aircraft are a critical part of Japan's strategy to maintain airspace security. At the same time, the Russian Navy carried out anti-drone exercises and air defense drills near the Kuril Islands, a chain of volcanic islands situated between Russia's southeastern coast and northern Japan. Known in Japan as the Northern Territories, this area has been a flashpoint in a long-standing territorial dispute between the two nations dating back to World War II. The Russian drills showcased corvettes, compact yet highly agile warships designed to combat submarines and aircraft. These vessels are particularly well-suited to counter modern threats, such as drones and aerial strikes, underscoring Russia's readiness to adapt to evolving military challenges. These maneuvers highlight the region's persistent geopolitical tensions and strategic importance. The Kuril Islands are more than a matter of national pride. They represent significant strategic and economic value. Controlling the islands would give either nation dominance over critical maritime routes, access to lucrative fishing grounds, and untapped energy resources in the surrounding waters. This makes the dispute a multifaceted issue with far-reaching implications. Adding to the complexity, Russia and China have increased their naval presence in the area, signaling a broader competition for influence and control over vital sea lanes. On June 3, 2023, this escalating rivalry reached a flashpoint when a Chinese warship had what the U.S. military described as an unsafe maritime interaction with the USS Chung-Hoon, an American guided missile destroyer. The incident occurred in the Taiwan Strait, a crucial waterway that separates Taiwan from mainland China, heavily used for global shipping. This marked the second major provocation by the Chinese military in just 1 week, underscoring a concerning rise in China's assertiveness in maritime affairs. The USS Chung-Hoon, a state-of-the-art Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, was sailing through international waters on a routine mission. Accompanying it was the Canadian frigate HMCS Montreal, a Halifax-class vessel conducting its patrol. Everything seemed standard until the Chinese warship, the PLA Lu Yang. 3 DDG-132 entered the scene and turned the waters into a potential hotspot of conflict. The tension skyrocketed when the Chinese warship executed a series of risky maneuvers near the Chung-Hoon. In a particularly alarming move, the Chinese vessel aggressively overtook the Chung-Hoon on its left side, cutting sharply across its path at an uncomfortably close distance of just 150 yards. For comparison, that's roughly the length of 1.5 football fields, far too close for massive warships traveling at significant speeds. This kind of recklessness wasn't just a show of bravado, it was a genuine safety hazard. Chung-Hoon was forced to act swiftly. To avoid a catastrophic collision, the destroyer slowed to a cautious 10 knots and executed abrupt evasive maneuvers. These actions were complicated by the advanced navigation and collision avoidance systems on board, systems designed to prevent accidents, but not immune to the challenges of dealing with unpredictable maneuvers from another ship. As if this wasn't enough, the PLA warship doubled down on its aggressive behavior. Shortly after the first close call, it maneuvered again, this time staying about 2,000 yards away. A safer distance, but still within the range of intimidation. It lingered off Chung-Hoon's left side, keeping the situation tense and fraught with uncertainty. Fortunately, the entire ordeal was caught on camera. Journalists from Global News aboard the HMCS Montreal filmed the incident, capturing clear footage of the Chinese warship cutting in front of the Chung-Hoon. The video left little doubt about the deliberate and provocative nature of the Chinese vessel's actions. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has openly condemned the actions of a Chinese ship, describing them as a blatant violation of international maritime laws meant to ensure safe and organized navigation at sea. These kinds of aggressive maneuvers don't just put naval vessels at risk, they also heighten tensions on the global stage, especially in already disputed waters. This incident isn't an isolated one. It's part of a concerning pattern of increasingly hostile behavior from the Chinese military in the region. What adds another layer of interest is the role of foreign spy ships. These specialized vessels are like floating surveillance stations, each tailored for unique missions. For example, ships like the Corelia fall under the category of signals intelligence, or SIGINT, vessels. Packed with state-of-the-art technology, these ships can eavesdrop on a wide range of communications, from radio chatter to satellite transmissions. Their mission is to intercept and decode signals, providing valuable insights into the activities of potential adversaries. Then there's another category, electronic intelligence, or ELINT, ships. These are experts at picking up non-communication signals, such as radar emissions. By analyzing these signals, they help military forces understand the radar systems and electronic defenses used by other nations. Think of ELINT ships as detectives piecing together an enemy's electronic playbook. Some of these spy ships go a step further, boasting incredibly advanced tech that can monitor sensitive signals from military exercises or covert operations. With artificial intelligence and cutting-edge algorithms at their disposal, they can process and analyze mountains of data in real time, making them formidable tools in the intelligence world. Tracking these elusive vessels isn't easy. It takes the full might of the U.S. Navy's capabilities, along with its intelligence network, to detect and monitor them. The U.S. Navy employs a powerful blend of radar systems, sonar, and satellite technology to keep a close eye on vessels navigating the world's oceans. Behind the scenes, naval intelligence officers use sophisticated algorithms and advanced data analysis to monitor ship movements, making sure each one is accurately identified and its purpose understood. Modern radar systems are at the heart of naval defense. These radars, stationed on land, aboard ships, or mounted on aircraft, can detect ships from hundreds of miles away. But they do more than just spot targets. Some use high-frequency signals that slice through dense fog or raging storms, ensuring reliable tracking even in the toughest weather. Adding to this capability, satellites offer an unmatched vantage point, providing a constant bird's-eye view of sprawling ocean territories. Their role becomes especially critical when tracking stealthy ships like the Corelia, which can operate far beyond the reach of standard naval patrols. Equipped with infrared sensors, these satellites can even detect the heat signature of a ship, making them invaluable for tracking targets through thick clouds, heavy rain, or complete darkness. Maintaining security over vast waters is not a one-nation effort. It's a team game. The Corelia incident highlighted just how vital international cooperation is, especially between allies like the US and Japan. During that operation, Japanese forces played a pivotal role. Their advanced tracking systems, which combine radar, satellite imagery, and electronic intelligence, allowed them to monitor the Russian vessel in real time and relay crucial information to their US counterparts. Of course, high-tech tools aren't the only assets in maritime security. Sometimes you need eyes on the target. Maritime patrol planes, equipped with high-resolution cameras and cutting-edge sensors, can swoop in for a close-up look to visually confirm a vessel's identity. Meanwhile, carrier-based fighter jets, capable of rapid deployment from aircraft carriers, are perfect for quick reconnaissance missions, offering an agile way to gather critical intel. When a potential threat is identified at sea, the response is swift, precise, and carefully coordinated. Nearby naval ships are often called upon to visually inspect the suspicious vessel and compare its features with known profiles of foreign intelligence ships. This step is part of a comprehensive defense strategy that combines advanced technology with international teamwork. Together, they form a powerful system to ensure maritime security by accurately detecting and tracking threats. Once a foreign spy ship is confirmed, the gears of action immediately start turning. The first and most critical task is notifying the entire command structure. This ensures that vital information reaches top officials and decision-makers without delay, enabling them to coordinate a timely and effective response. Simultaneously, military aircraft are dispatched to get a closer look. Aircraft like the P-8 Poseidon, a long-range maritime patrol plane renowned for its advanced surveillance and sonar capabilities, might be deployed to track submarines or ships from above. For rapid intercepts and detailed inspections, fighter jets like the F/A-18 Hornet could also be sent. These jets are equipped with cutting-edge radar and electronic warfare systems, making them ideal for gathering detailed intelligence on intruding vessels. Meanwhile, naval forces nearby are repositioned to closely monitor the unfolding situation. This could involve moving destroyers or frigates armed with state-of-the-art tracking and weapons systems to ensure a robust response. A real-world example of this process in action was seen during the Corelia and Chung-Hoon incidents, where Allied naval forces quickly and effectively tracked and monitored foreign vessels in their waters. When interception becomes necessary, the U.S. Navy follows carefully designed protocols that emphasize both assertiveness and safety. Maintaining a safe distance is key, ensuring that potential conflicts are avoided while protecting both naval forces and the intercepted vessel. For instance, there was a significant incident where a Chinese warship engaged in risky maneuvers near the USS Chung-Hoon, performing close passes and quick course changes. To handle such encounters, communication with the foreign vessel begins via radio, using standard maritime signals. These initial messages aim to identify the ship, emphasize the seriousness of the situation, and seek a peaceful resolution. The protocols are designed to manage any escalation in a controlled manner, reflecting the Navy's commitment to maritime security while minimizing risks. If the ship doesn't respond or identify itself as requested, more urgent warnings may be issued. To ensure clear communication, internationally recognized signals such as flag hoists or light signals are utilized. These visual signals are intended to bridge language barriers, making it unmistakable that the intercepting ship is present and has a specific objective. For example, ships might use a combination of international signal flags, each with its meaning, or light flashes from signal lamps to convey messages. These methods are standardized to ensure that vessels from different nations can understand the commands. In some cases, escort ships, equipped with advanced surveillance technology, may be deployed to surround the foreign vessel. This tactic helps redirect the ship away from sensitive areas or keep it under close watch. These escort ships are equipped with radar, sonar, and other tracking devices to closely monitor the vessel's movements. When a foreign ship is intercepted, its movements are closely monitored and analyzed. Every change in its direction or speed is scrutinized to gain insights into its mission and intentions. This detailed tracking helps determine whether the ship is a potential threat or if it poses no danger. For sophisticated vessels like the U.S. Navy's carriers, tracking electronic emissions is crucial for maintaining awareness of the ship's activities. Specialized equipment on board can detect and analyze various electronic signals emitted by a ship, such as radar and communication frequencies. This data is vital for counterintelligence, providing crucial insights into the ship's capabilities and objectives. High-resolution cameras and video equipment are also used to capture detailed images of the foreign vessel. These cameras document every detail, from its antenna arrays to hull markings and any distinctive features. Throughout this process, information is shared regularly with allies to maintain a delicate balance of power. In today's unpredictable geopolitical climate, the risk of conflict is ever present. The complex web of international relations adds layers of difficulty to naval operations. For example, the near collision between Chinese warships and the USS Chung-Hoon on June 2023 highlighted the dangers of unsafe maneuvers and the risk of accidental conflict. This incident underscored how easily naval forces can find themselves in serious incidents due to reckless actions. In high-stakes areas like the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, where countries have overlapping territorial claims, the risks are particularly significant. The South China Sea is a crucial region, with over $3 trillion worth of trade passing through its waters each year and competing claims from China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. The Taiwan Strait, a narrow body of water separating Taiwan from mainland China, is a hotspot of tension because China claims Taiwan as its own, while the US supports Taiwan's defense. Any military movements in this sensitive area are closely watched and can be easily misinterpreted, adding to the complexity of diplomatic relations. For instance, when US aircraft carriers appear or when the US conducts joint military drills with its allies in the region, China may interpret these actions as provocations, potentially escalating tensions. The broader context of US-China and US-Russia relations further amplifies these risks. Tensions between the US and China have escalated, particularly after the US criticized China's involvement in the Ukraine conflict. China's support for Russia, including economic assistance and cooperation in rebuilding Russia's defense industry, has made relations even more strained. In response, the US has increased its naval presence in the Indo-Pacific region and carried out operations to challenge China's expansive territorial claims. These strained relations cast a long shadow over naval activities in the Pacific, making every maneuver and communication a potential flashpoint. The risk of misinterpretation is high. An accidental misjudgment of a signal or an overly assertive move by a naval commander could lead to a serious incident with significant repercussions, affecting both regional stability and global security. This land-based conflict is profoundly influencing maritime affairs, shaping the strategic environment for naval forces. For example, trade tensions between the US and China are not only economic but also affect naval strategy. The United States is committed to maintaining peace and stability in the vital waters of the Indo-Pacific region. This commitment is particularly significant as China has increased its military activities near Taiwan, drawing closer scrutiny to every US naval operation in the area. For instance, on June 2023, the USS Chung-Hoon, a guided missile destroyer, had a tense encounter with a Chinese destroyer, highlighting the high-stakes nature of these maritime interactions. Another major hotspot is the South China Sea, where China's assertive actions, like building military bases on artificial islands, have intensified tensions with neighboring countries and faced widespread international criticism. This sea is a crucial trade route, with around $3.4 trillion in goods passing through it each year, making it a significant point of contention in US-China relations. This area of geopolitical rivalry has become a focal point, with countries like the Philippines and Vietnam challenging China's territorial claims and striving to safeguard their interests. While much of the world is focused on the US-China rivalry, it's crucial not to overlook the significant interactions between the US and Russia. The conflict in Ukraine is not just a regional issue. It has wide-ranging implications for global naval strategies. For instance, the US and its NATO allies have adjusted their naval operations in response to Russian moves in the Black Sea and the Arctic. This has led to increased patrols and joint naval exercises, aimed at countering Russia's growing influence and assertiveness at sea. The link between these regional disputes and global naval strategies underscores the broader impact of these conflicts. They shape how major powers maneuver and project their influence across the world's oceans. A recent example is the Russian naval mission near Japan, known as the Celius mission. This operation involved a significant Russian naval force, including advanced submarines and surface ships, conducting a series of provocative maneuvers. The naval activities of the US and Russia are part of a larger, high-stakes rivalry between these two superpowers. Every action and decision is carefully scrutinized to assess its potential impact on intelligence gathering and military strategy. A critical concern in this ongoing naval competition is cybersecurity. As naval technology advances and becomes more interconnected, it also becomes more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Modern naval vessels depend on sophisticated software and networked systems, making them increasingly susceptible to cyber threats. These attacks can target not only land-based infrastructure, but also disrupt ship operations while at sea. Navigational, communication, and weapons systems disruptions can lead to serious malfunctions and accidents. The Arctic has become a crucial area of naval rivalry between the US and Russia due to rapidly melting ice, which has opened new shipping routes and access to untapped resources. Both nations are now boosting their activities in the region, highlighting a new phase in their ongoing rivalry. With ice melting faster, routes like the Northern Sea route are becoming viable, offering a quicker and cheaper passage between Europe and Asia. This prompts both the US and Russia to strengthen their naval presence in the Arctic, making it not only a strategic passageway, but also rich in resources like oil and gas. Russia has fortified its military position in the Arctic by setting up new bases and deploying advanced icebreakers. The US is also ramping up its presence to protect its strategic interests as Russia expands its northern fleet. As geopolitical tensions rise, especially between the US, China, and Russia, naval confrontations in the Arctic become crucial. These interactions involve sophisticated technology and strategic planning, including unmanned drones, satellite monitoring, and cyber warfare techniques. The goal is to avoid conflict while adhering to international laws. Similar tense interactions are also seen in the Taiwan Strait, where the US and China clash over control without triggering open conflict. This highlights the complexity of naval intelligence and counterintelligence, emphasizing the critical role of the US Navy in protecting its interests and those of its allies. As technology advances, naval operations face more sophisticated challenges. Breakthroughs in cyber warfare and stealth technology have introduced new forms of espionage and tools for detection. Thanks to recent breakthroughs in satellite technology and unmanned underwater vehicles, the Navy's ability to keep an eye on the vast expanse of the oceans has taken a giant leap forward. Imagine satellites equipped with state-of-the-art sensors that can deliver live, detailed updates from space, or autonomous underwater drones capable of diving deep beneath the waves to gather critical information, all without putting a single sailor in harm's way. Even more fascinating is the role of artificial intelligence in reshaping naval operations. AI systems can swiftly analyze massive amounts of data, pinpoint potential threats, predict enemy movements, and even uncover hidden military bases by analyzing satellite images. It's like having a super smart detective constantly scanning the seas for any sign of trouble. The Indo-Pacific region in particular has become a hotspot for naval competition, with countries like China rapidly expanding their maritime strength. To stay ahead, the US Navy knows it must push the boundaries of innovation and teamwork. By joining forces with allies through joint drills like the massive Rim of the Pacific exercise and sharing intelligence, the Navy is not just protecting its interests, it's strengthening a global network of security. Thank you for watching another episode on our channel. While you are still here, click the video on your screen to see more mind-blowing videos like this one.